My leaders, my leaders, my leaders, my leaders. I want to speak to y'all for a second. Let me speak. It is what I believe is the 23rd of January. And I want to speak to you all. I got a specific message. So I had to step outside real quick, man.
Oh my God. Where you put eyes? Yo, guys don't work.
20 days, no food. I was on a fast. And this is what I learned. Gratitude. Gratitude is what I've learned 20 days. I said 20 days, my God. 14 days, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, no food. This is what I learned. Be thankful for every single thing that you have. We say that, but we don't really, myself included, I didn't really understand that. I didn't really know what that meant until I went through 2 weeks with no food, intentionally. And the reason I got into it is because the Spirit had prompted me to do it. There were certain things that I was struggling with that was getting me distracted. And I struggled with, check this out, opportunities. That sounds weird. But I was struggling specifically with opportunities, right? And it sounds like a positive thing to struggle with, but not really. Because I recognized my focus and my attention was in so many directions being here in New York. And I needed focus. And so you would say, well, Jaja, why would you go to not eating food? Why would you go from not eating food to figure out how to focus? What does that have to do with anything? But it has everything to do with it. It has everything to do with it because I found direction. As a matter of fact, I found direction really that 7th day, but I just decided to prolong it and really be led by the Spirit. 14 days, no food. I noticed every single craving that I've ever had come forth in full effect. And I didn't recognize it before. It was not only hunger, but lust. It was not only lust, but distractions. It was not only distraction, but my battle with commitment. My battle with pleasing. My yearning to give. Cherishing food. My love for people. My level of patience. My ability to discern. My temperament. Anxiety management. And the list, my leader, goes on and on and on. The list goes on. 14 days without food allowed me to recognize more of what I'm here for. The moment, and I want to say this, the moment I felt the 3rd day, right? That 3rd day spoke to me because really that 3rd day hit me the most. And it hit me the most because that's where I felt everything. I felt every type of response that my body was making. I felt it. I felt the distractions, decisions. God, you blessed me with so many opportunities. Which decision do I make? And I want to say why that's so important because legitimately the Spirit started to speak to me and clarify on the 7th day, Jaja, all opportunities are not for you. And then I got led to Luke I got led to the book of Luke, chapter 4, and the verse on temptation, chapter 4, 7 through 13, where Jesus was led in the wilderness. And I just kept meditating on Luke. I kept meditating on it. And then I started to do research. I started to do Bible study. And in the wilderness, the wilderness was filled with many distractions, much temptations. The devil tempted Jesus for 40 days. And then after that 40 days, when Jesus hungered, tempted him with the most, what would seem feasible temptation. Do this, turn these stones into bread. But within those 40 days of being in the wilderness, there were so many distractions, so much temptation. And I could just imagine there was temptation coming his way from all directions. When the enemy saw that one thing wasn't working for Jesus, most likely went to the next thing. And during my 14-day fast, I came here for faith. I came here to build this brand. I came here to talk about faith, its concepts, how God works. But the opportunities, some that have come my way so far, my leader, some that have come my way so far were so appealing, so enticing. I didn't recognize those opportunities as temptation. Something that is taking me astray from the journey that God placed me here for. I didn't recognize that. I'm just like, yo, I'm in New York, let me do it. I'm in New York, let's get it. Let's meet this person, let's do that. And that's where the distraction came. That's when randomly the Bible said, open up to temptation. I open the Bible, it never leads me to the table of contents that are in the back, right? At temptation, I started reading Luke, and ooh, my leaders, I started getting convicted. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you were focused, Jaja, but New York is a representation of the wilderness. This is the wilderness. So your destination is straight ahead. You can't see it through the beautiful branches and the trees, the array of opportunities. I couldn't see it, my leaders. I couldn't see it. Easily got distracted, and I'm glad I caught it now. But during my 14-day fast, this is what I experienced, this is what I recognize. Using certain things or people to cope with stress. Almost resorting to lust. I was battling. I was in a battle. During that 14-day fast, my leaders, I learned to focus. My body became energized. There came a certain point where I could continue to go. Right now I'm at a state where I can continue to go on a fast. I'm choosing to break it today. If the Spirit leads me, I'll still go longer. But because I got my answer. I got the discernment I was looking for vision, for purpose, for growth. There's a TV in my room, and when I was convicted by the Spirit, I was lying on my air mattress. Shout out to my sister. Shout out to my sister Stephanie, who had a birthday on January 14th. Sent me an air mattress in my apartment. And I remember as I was sleeping on that air mattress for the first night, I forgot what day this was in the fast, the Spirit convicted me to write on a white sheet of paper, Jaja, only focus on faith. Your mission in New York is faith. Just like your mission statement, to motivate and inspire the confidence and faith in each spirit I meet, so they can go towards the calling that God has gifted them with, that energy. Jaja, focus on that. Focus only on faith. There's one thing. You're not called to focus on many. You're going to get an abundance of opportunities, but you're not called to focus on every single one that comes your way. Is it pulling you towards faith, Jaja? Now, mind you, the reason why that came is because I've been in prayer. That may have been a time where I was too busy eating food. Too busy eating food, too busy caking on the phone, too busy on social media, because throughout the 14 days, my phone ironically broke. Ironically. Didn't have a phone for 2 weeks. And that would have been a time where I was distracted, but I was just focused. I was in the spirit. I was talking to God. Jaja, only focus on faith. This is what I put you here for. I ain't put you here for nothing else. Yes, people are gonna see your work. People are gonna see your greatness, but it's not for you to go towards everything. Everything is not for you, Jaja. Understand that you're blessed. People are gonna come your way, but what is for you is for you. And I battled. I said, God, but what about this opportunity that just came? What do you want me to do about that? God, what about a few months down the line? How am I gonna support myself? And so a lot of times in the midst of supporting ourselves, we do some of the most radical things. God provides always, always, my leaders, always. 14 days in, I recognized the homeless more than I recognized the homeless before. As I was sitting amongst these people, God kept waking me up early. I mean, 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 4:50, waking me up. I'm at this McDonald's and I'm bumping into people. I'm preaching the word to the homeless and they feeding on it. They feeding on it, but I'm life coaching them. I'm giving them direction. I'm giving them something to hope for. I'm giving them homework, things to do. All we want in this life is development, a feeling that we're growing. If we feel like we're not growing in something, we tend to leave. We tend to quit. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's an entrepreneurship endeavor, whether it's school, if we don't feel the progress, we tend to quit. God had me giving these homeless individuals something to actually believe in, you know? And that right there, that touched my spirit. Because I didn't know I was going to be led to do that. How y'all doing? How you doing? I never knew I was going to be led to do that, y'all. I never. And because I wouldn't have been in those scenarios had I not been fasting. There are certain times where, because I'm drinking only liquid only, there was times where I was going for hot water or a cup of coffee. And within that cup of coffee, I was called to speak to somebody. I wouldn't have been there for that cup of coffee. I wouldn't have been there to make some tea. I would have been eating. The steps were just so directed each and every day. There were days where it was 6 degrees here in New York, 6 degrees. And there's certain destinations that I wanted to go to, my leaders. Because of those 6 degrees, I had to stop and make a left inside the shop because my toes were freezing. My toes, these toes right here, these tips, they were freezing cold. And I had to stop in just to warm my foot. And in warming my foot, God led me to somebody else I had to speak to. I had to talk to. I had to connect with. I had to share a word of faith. God was like, Jaja, the only mission here in New York is faith. That's it. Telling stories through faith. Sharing your testimony. Helping folks with confidence. Help building. That's your mission. Every single day. That's your mission. And if you get distracted, Jaja, I'm going to realign you in the most dramatic ways possible. Your mission is faith. 14 days in, I had to learn that. I had to stop talking to some people. I just had to be quiet and just take time with God, time with God. And it's been the most beautiful experience, my leaders. It's been the most beautiful experience. I'm here today because this may be my last video for a while. I don't know how long, because right here behind me, that's my apartment. But today, my leaders, this is the day where this rent through faith may not get paid, right? And so I will legitimately this time be out. And if I don't get the funds today, right, I will be out in this New York cold at somewhere. God is gonna show me if that is the plan. But if not, I had to put this DSLR up for sale on OfferUp. Most likely the price is good. Somebody's gonna purchase this. And throughout this, once that happens, I'll be looking for side hustle opportunities, you know. So if that happens, just know that I'll be coming back with a vengeance. I'll be coming back with a vengeance. But if that's what God leads me to, you know, if somebody purchases this lens today, you're not gonna see me, you all, for a time. But it's not gonna be a bad thing, because it's gonna be another experience of growth. I'm gonna look at it as fasting. I'm gonna look at it as a no food fast. You know, it taught me something. Not having my lens right now is gonna teach me something that I need to learn. But this is about me being transparent and open with you all, y'all. God shows up. And even when things don't go as planned, there's a reason. You gotta figure out what that reason is. 14 days of no food taught me to love people more, like really, really love people. Like if you have a meal today, like I've never looked at people eat a meal and just be so happy. I'm happy for you eating some food. And it's like, you gotta understand you are blessed. You got a place, you got some shelter, you got a place to stay. Dog, you are blessed. It's 6 degrees. I'm sitting next to homeless people that it's 6-degree weather and they out in the streets. No, man, you blessed. You got a place to stay, you are blessed. You eating food today, you ate some food, even if it was a granola bar, you blessed. We don't even look at it like that. That little. You ate something this morning, but you complaining. Nah, you blessed. Some people not having a meal for days. I was next to a homeless cat. He hadn't eaten for days, man. He said, man, I went for 12. And ironically, this was on my 12th day of no food. He said, man, there's times I don't go for eating for about 12 days. I looked him in his eyes, because I had been fasting. I said, I know what you mean, man. To know he was at that feeling. Humble. That's what God always places you where you need to be at. He's gonna make you do some things you didn't know you had to do, because it's gonna teach you something. It's gonna allow you to connect with people like you've never been able to connect, man. And so I started to go to McDonald's, and every time I got my coffee, the McDonald's that I went to get my coffee, they would give me a receipt. And on the receipt, they say, look, if you take the survey, you get a free pack of cookies, 3 cookies. I started to do the survey so I can give out the cookie. It takes like a minute to, do the survey. It's free. It's free. And I started to give my cookies to anybody that was homeless, And I said, nah, man, I want to care about people more. God, show me how to love people more. My leaders, it's different. It's different. I'm recognizing the importance, and everybody needs faith. Everybody needs a certain level of coaching, and that's what this is about. 14 days, no food. I'm humbled, and I'm hungry. It changed me. I'm not the same person I was 14 days ago, And how you doing, man? I'm not the same person I was a month ago. My skin has been shed. The old me it's truly been shed. And if God calls me to take a videography fast from you all, I'll still be working with videography clients. But when it comes to vlogging, because I won't have my DSLR. Hey man, how you doing? Because I won't have my DSLR, I'm just gonna look at it as fasting. But this is a specific time where God has people doing specific things and having you go through a specific experience. And it's not to take any of these things as a negative, but to learn from them. See what other areas that you need to grow in. You know what I mean? See it. There's something else that God is challenging you to do or learn in regards to something that you probably want and don't have right now. Don't get depressed, don't get down, but look at it. Just look at it from a perspective of, man, okay, God, now that I don't have this, what do you want me to learn in this season? Because your circumstance is the only reason you'll do certain things. It's it. And I recognize with me, until I got to New York, there's certain things I would have never done. I had to get here. I had to get here to start operating like this. I had to get here to see some of the things that I've seen. I've had to get here to struggle the way I've struggled. I've had to get here. but it wasn't a struggle, but it's more of a lessons. And this day, today, the last day, by the grace of God, I'll still be in this apartment. By the grace of God. But if not, this is the official kick out. Not the last video. This one. But by the grace of God, I'm gonna get the revelation. It's gonna show me what to do today. But my leaders, God puts you in certain predicaments when you're walking in His will that is just gonna change your life. Not destroy your life, change it for the better. In Christ, we are always growing, always. And so when people ask me, yo, how you stay so positive all the time? It's the strength of God. It's God working in me to see just why He placed certain things in my life, allowing me to see the growth, allowing me to have this closer connection. It's nothing but God, my leaders. So I don't make this level of happiness up. I don't make this level of like I'm fearless up. There's things I'm scared of, but it's because I know that God is working, just like He did everybody in the Bible. He put them through something. I would be more worried if I wasn't going through nothing, if I wasn't growing. You know, this platform is about leadership. There are people watching this video right now who are going through things 10 times worse than I've ever gone through. And I witnessed that in 14 days of no eating. I witnessed that, and I was able to feel for them like I've never felt for them. So we're gonna start doing for these people. Any way we can serve my leaders, we're gonna start serving. We have to serve. It's imperative that we serve. We're just not here for ourselves. There's so many people that need us, even if it's a conversation, even if it's an ear, they just need somebody to listen to them today. Cause they homeless and nobody wants to give them any type of respect. You know what I mean? People, we can be filled. And what I recognize the beauty and fellowship in communion, man. There were days where it was hours without even drinking any type of liquid. And in those moments, somebody would come to me and speak to me. We talked for like 30 minutes to an hour. I forgot I hadn't eaten. And it's like, we need that. So I started to give the homeless that. Some people just need an ear, somebody to listen to. So it's about being more intentional, my leaders. I wanted to go on a quick rant on this vlog just to share that mindset, just to share that perspective that whatever you're going through is for a reason. This season is about growth, my leaders. If you're watching this today, you're a leader, you're phenomenal. This is about growth. All right, my leaders, I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. Make sure you go to the We Are Leaders podcast. I've been uploading almost every single day. The goal is to upload every single day. We're like, I think 12 or 13 messages in. Whenever I don't upload, it's most likely because I'm nowhere near my apartment or my podcast mic. But I think I've only missed 2 days so far. I think my record is doing good. I want to win that championship. But We Are Leaders podcast every single day. There's going to be one tonight. And if you haven't watched Pleasure versus Discipline, listen to that one. I did that for y'all because, you know, there are stories I want to share every single day that I experience, and I know they're beneficial. And I thank the people that have been supporting the We Are Leaders. Check the We Are Leaders podcast, iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, and many other podcast platforms. We Are Leaders for you. It's for you, okay? So my leaders, today, just before we go, be grateful and be thankful for everything. Please don't get so prideful that you don't feel for other people. You know what I mean? Just don't get that prideful. Feel for people. You're not the only one going through a struggle. You're not. Feel for people. And know that you're blessed. And just remember this. If you eating food today, my lady, you blessed. You blessed. As a homeless guy, I'm gonna end it like this. A homeless guy said this. He said, man, what you reading, Jaja? I was at McDonald's. And he said, man, I told her, I said, man, I'm reading the Bible. He said, he turned around. He said, the Bible? He said, the Bible? I said, it's that good word. He said, the Bible ain't good. He said, chicken is good. The Bible's great. Now I want to leave it like that. Just think of that perspective. Because I was laughing hysterically. He said, chicken is good. No. The Bible is great. And so my leaders, just keep your perspective correct this season. Keep it correct this season. And I'm a firm believer that your life will be changed. All right? We are out.